exciting, and I have a really interesting question for you. What if you woke up today with only the things that you were grateful for yesterday? What if you woke up today with only the things that you were grateful for yesterday? What would you be looking at? Who would you be looking at? What would you have? What are you grateful for? It was a beautiful reading that Linda read, talking about gratitude, bringing us closer to what we have, enjoying the everyday life. Because there is a law of attraction in gratitude. It is extremely powerful and it isn't spoken about enough. But here we get to talk about it really once a year. We will bring it up once a year. Last year I reminded us that gratitude is really the philosopher's stone. Gratitude has the power to transmute and transform absolutely anything in our lives. Whatever we have, whatever little that we have, last week we talked about the widow with the pot of oil, and she had only one little pot of oil. That was her mentality, the onlyness, the littleness, the lack. But if she had had gratitude for that pot of oil, gratitude in its worth and its value in her life, it would have blossomed and attracted more. And of course, she at least had the wherewithal to go to a spiritual master who had encouraged her to expand her consciousness, to become grateful, to know that there is more for her. Meister Eckhart said, many of you know this, that if the only prayer you ever said in your whole life was thank you, that would be enough. Why? Why would a prayer of gratitude be enough in your whole life? Expressing gratitude is a declaration for the good that we already have in our lives. Expressing gratitude is a reminder of the good that we have already in our lives. So when we're grateful, when we are standing in gratitude, we cannot see lack. We can't see what we don't have. We're focusing on what we do have. And that is the experience of the law of attraction. We're attracting more. More of what? This is the wonderful thing about gratitude and the law of attraction. Are we attracting more wealth, more friendships, more love, more finances, more creativity? We're attracting things, situations, and events to be grateful for. It's so open. Gratitude leaves us open. It leaves us in that awe state where we can see the beauty in the butterfly just passing by on our way to pick up the mail. The mail might be full of bills, but we can have gratitude that we can pay those bills, or most of them. And if we can't pay all of them, then we have gratitude that we have the energy and the strength to go to work the next day, to collect that paycheck. That we have gratitude that we know we are not limited inherently by who and what we are, but we have the source of God. We are sourced by Spirit itself. We are unlimited spiritual creative beings. Talk about gratitude. There's nothing left than being the ultimate son or daughter of God itself. We are unlimited. And gratitude reminds us of that. Eric Butterworth said, all the substance of the universe, all the wealth that has ever manifested itself or ever will manifest itself in this world is present right now. All the substance of the world, of God, of Spirit is present right now. When we are grateful for that which we have, we open our hearts, we open the channel for anything and everything to come to us. The things that what? Will make us more grateful. The things that will inspire us and make us even more grateful. He said, when we are grateful, we acknowledge the gifts that we have already been given, and we invite these gifts to express more and more fully in our lives. We have the choice to be great or small. When we are grateful, we are great. When we become lax in the expression of gratitude, he says we become little people with little minds, leading little inconsequential lives. And I thought about that when I read it, because I thought it was so interesting. When are the times that I have felt that I've had a little inconsequential life? When I'm walking around thinking, this is nothing. What I have, this little house, this little car, this little whatever, these books, these things, it's nothing. And it feels so little and inconsequential. And I really do feel small. I feel myself so small. And when do I not feel small? Think about the simple act of being grateful when you look around at that little pot of oil, that little stack of books, the little spiritual books that I have, or the little house that I have that really is a welcoming space for friends and family, where there's always enough. Believe it or not, there's always more than enough. If anybody came by, there would be plenty of food, plenty of drink. I turn on the faucet, the water always manages to come on. The electricity comes on, the heat comes on, the air conditioning comes on. There's a dog loving me, there's the garden's growing, yes, half of it's weeds, but you know what? We have beautiful weeds in Florida, don't we? Have you ever stopped to look at some of those? I have these rose bushes and these huge white daisy things growing up through them. I don't know which is more beautiful. I know the daisy things are weeds, but gosh, they're gorgeous. Gratitude transforms that little inconsequential self that I feel that I am sometimes, where I just feel like what I do is not much. But that when you're grateful for the not much, and what I do, I just walk around feeling like a queen, or a king, or a prince, or a princess, because we are the divine children of God itself. Gratitude makes us feel like, look, that butterfly is doing that dance for me. That ladybug is showing its colors just for me. The dog is, licking my face. Well, it's probably not for me. He'll lick at anybody who walks in the door. He loves me, though. I know that. It really is the philosopher's stone. It really does transmute anything in our lives into something wonderful, and I will say magical. There's something magical about gratitude that we don't quite understand. But we're going to try to this week, aren't we? When we understand this, Eric Butterworth says, we see that a grateful heart does not need something to be grateful for. Gratitude is a state of consciousness. It is a godly, a spiritual, a mystical state of consciousness. We talk about the difference between joy and happiness. Joy is a quality of God. It is our birthright. We can choose it whenever we want, just like when I talk about paradise. Happiness is something we feel happy because, somebody gave me a gift today. That's great. We feel sad when somebody didn't give me a gift today. That's just, what? That's somebody coercing me, or I become a victim to the things that are happening in my life, right? We think, I can be grateful if somebody gives me a gift, but how dare they? How dare they not give me a gift? How dare they not thank me for something? I'm going to be ingrateful, or they're ingrateful, or all these judgments. But gratitude itself can be for nothing at all. The sunset, the wind, the breeze, the fact that we're breathing, the fact that for no reason at all, we can actually move the muscles on our face and smile. Ernest Holmes, I thought this was interesting. He said that the prayer of thanksgiving is a prayer of appropriation, and I actually had to look up the word appropriation for that, using in that phrase. The prayer of thanksgiving is a prayer of appropriation. And it means appropriation, to make something your own, to appropriate for yourself, to take for yourself. And I thought, isn't that interesting? A prayer of thanksgiving is making something our own. When we are in thanksgiving, we are seeing and recognizing a value in something. We are valuing it, and we are claiming it for ourselves. That is a powerful law of attraction. Seeing the value in the butterfly or the grass or the breeze or the sunset. Seeing the value in ourselves, in our education, in our progress, in our relationships, our family, valuing the people in our lives. To really bring gratitude into every aspect of our lives, we appropriate those things, we bring them into us. They become ours, not as things, but as an experience of wholeness and oneness. Isn't that right? I thought that was so interesting. Of course, Ernest Holmes goes on to say that whenever Jesus prayed, he would say, "Thank you, Father," first, and tell Lazarus to walk. He appropriated the gift of life through him. So Jesus could ask Lazarus to walk. By thanking God, by recognizing the value of life itself, that there is no opposite of life. We know this. Death is the opposite of birth, but no opposite of life. So Jesus could be gratitude, be in gratitude, be very, very thankful, be in that space of appropriating life itself. That's pretty awesome. Appreciation, gratitude, and thanksgiving are the power which attracts and magnifies the hidden potentialities of all of life. Appreciation, gratitude, and thanksgiving are the power which attracts and magnifies. So the whole law of attraction is wrapped up in gratitude. This week, let's not let a day go by where we don't just see with the eyes of gratitude. Instead of having it be on one day where we eat way too much turkey, where we might say to our family members, we might recognize a few things that we're grateful for, but I invite you all week to have that kind of thought in your mind. What if today you woke up with only that which you were grateful for yesterday? Just think about, what would you have in your life? What are you attracting in your life? What might fall away from your life because you cannot see the value in it? Because you've taken something for granted. You know, Jesus said, "To he who has, more will be given, and to he who has not, even that little that he has will be taken away." And there's a parable of the talents, which I won't go into, but I invite you to look it up if you care to. But what he's talking about in that phrase is that if you cannot see the value in the little bit that you have, it will be taken away, because there is value in it. All the sustenance of life has already been given. All the gifts of the kingdom have already been given. To the degree that we are aware of them, we can claim them. And that awareness, we are calling this week gratitude, love, and appreciation. Be aware, be grateful, be in gratitude. It is the power which attracts. And we don't even have to be specific, because we are just attracting so much more to be grateful for every day. We will just find more and more to be grateful for. Eric Butterworth in Spiritual Economics said, "There is a great idea that you will encounter again and again on your quest. You are a living magnet, constantly drawing to you the things, people, and circumstances which are in accord with your thoughts." In other words, you are where you are in experience, in relationships, in financial abundance, in creative endeavors, because of where you are in consciousness. When we are in a consciousness of gratitude, everything is uplifted in our lives. All areas, any area you can think of. When we focus on what is, and we are grateful for what is, we magnify it, it expands and becomes enough. When we are grateful for enough, it becomes more than enough. When we are grateful for more than enough, we remember and we learn to give it away. We create the flow, the never-ending flow. But it starts with being grateful for even that little bit that we have in some area of our life. Gratitude is a vibration of love. We kind of forget that sometimes. It's just another idea of love. It is love. We call it gratitude. But I was trying to think about what really is gratitude. I do that. I look everything up in the dictionary. I didn't want to look it up. I was like, what is it I sense when I am in gratitude? And for me, what comes up is awe and joy. And I know it can be different for each of us. But there's some sense of awe when I see some of those things, or when I remember how these things came into my life, and there's joy. And then there's something about that appropriation. I see the value in it, and it feels so good that it's in my life. It feels like it's a part of me. That's what I experience when I am in gratitude. So this week, what is it for you when you are in gratitude? How does that make you feel? What other words would you use for that? It's just interesting. It's a vibration of love and acceptance. The things that we love and accept in our lives, we see as very valuable. And if we don't have gratitude for it, we cannot see the value in it. We are not valuing people, relationships, our jobs, somewhere where we might not be as happy as we think we should be. We devalue it by not being in that state of gratitude. But the only way to multiply it, to have it come forth in a more creative way, a more loving way, a more acceptable way for us, is to start with gratitude. Does that make sense? If we start with devaluing it, what are we attracting there? It will go away. I know a lot of people who hated their job and they lost it, and they were like, what? It's like, well, you didn't want it. You didn't even like it. You didn't, yeah, but I want it. I wasn't ready to go look for a new one. Yeah. Well, if you're not liking where you are, be grateful and allow that to be the instigation for the creative endeavor that you are meant to do next. Because if you don't like where you are in a relationship, in a job, in your financial situation, and whatever it is you're doing, it means that you are limiting yourself. You are limited, and that is not who you were born to be. We are born as unlimited, creative, spiritual beings. So wherever we're feeling lack and less than, it's just a sign, a signal. Find yourself in gratitude. Find yourself in awe, in love, and accepting. Find the value in what is so that you can grow your sense of value into what is to come next. We are always becoming. We should never have the same ideas that we had 50 years ago about anything. It's heretical, Merton said. When we sense and recognize the value of the things and people and the situations in our lives, we feel connected. Isn't that right? When we value things, when we're appreciative, we feel connected. There is that sense of unity and oneness. And for me, a lot of us talk about gratitude, and a lot of us will say a prayer of thanksgiving maybe before we eat that turkey. But I try every time I eat anything is really to take that moment, whether it's in silence or with a group, whether it's holding hands or just, if I'm in a business lunch, you can bet I'm not gonna ask everyone to hold hands and say a prayer for this little chicken that gave its life for us in our lovely little chicken salad. But I do, and I feel connected to the chicken. Think about it. I'll never forget when I used to go hunting on the D-Dot Ranch, which is the Winn-Dixie Ranch. Now it's Nocatee. It no longer exists. It's Nocatee with
140,000 people living there. But we used to go out there, and the men would all shoot, and there was dogs, and they'd shoot quail and chukars, and it was the greatest adventure. There'd be deer and bison and black panthers, and it was just a beautiful environment. And we'd come home, and my dad would serve us. My mom would cook up these quail, and there would be there would be shots. What is it called? Buckshot in it. Little BBs, and we're just like, I'll never forget that experience. And I'll like connect the dots. This little bird gave its life so that I have life, so that I have energy, so that I have a great meal, not just a mediocre meal or a meal of whatever. There's so much to be grateful for, but it connected the dots for me. Connect the dots in the things that we value, the food that we're eating, the life that we're sharing. In every area, of course, food comes up because it's Turkey Day. We're getting there. But all the food, all the people that come together to bring us that food, the grains that we eat, the rice that comes from somewhere far away, and people are picking that for their living, and it's packaged up, and it's dried out, and it's flown out, and it's driven, and it's trucked, and it's in our store, and we buy it in a bag. It's a miracle. Gratitude connects us. It connects the dots of our lives, of everything. And we sense ourselves not as that little inconsequential being, but part of this huge life expressing. The grateful heart will always attract to itself in one way or another, through human hands or through wonder-working ways, the great things needed to solve a particular problem. That was Eric Butterworth, through wonder-working ways. And I love that. God doesn't hand us things. God isn't up there waving a magic wand. Poof, there's your pile of money for you to pay your bills. Or poof, there's Prince Charming waiting for you. God works through us, in us, and as us. Through human hands, through human hearts. When we are grateful for the human interaction that we have, we open the door for what he calls wonder-working ways. I call that synchronicity. Spirit aligning in us, through us, as us, everything that we need to solve any problem. Gratitude opens those doors. It opens our heart, it opens our mind, it opens our sense of self so that we are able to embrace that next thing, the solution to that problem, the creative solution to our work or our job or our career or our parenting. I was meditating on gratitude. And I have read, Eric Butterworth. Oh man, gratitude is a celebration of truth, which becomes a causal assurance of a continuity of blessings. I'm going to read that again. Gratitude is a celebration of truth, which becomes a causal assurance of a continuity of blessings. So what I got from that as I was meditating, gratitude is a causal force. Gratitude is the cause. It is a cause. What is the effect? The blessings that come into our life, more and more blessings. Gratitude isn't something we do. It's not just, oh, thanks so much for that. It's just not a casual thing. It's a causal thing. We are causing a movement in spirit when we are grateful. That's why it's so powerful. I've never heard it that way before. It is a cause. It is moving something. It is changing something. And we just sit there thinking, oh, I'm just feeling a little joy and appreciating the value in this. And mountains are moving to bring me more gratitude, things to be grateful for. Gratitude is causal. Isn't that awesome? Just doesn't it make you want to just whip out a gratitude journal and list 10 things you're grateful for? And another 10, and another 10. It's like knowing that when you're sitting in that place of gratitude, mountains are moving. The universe is conspiring for you. That's the power of gratitude. Gratitude is a gift for ourselves. It's a gift to ourselves. That sense of gratitude, does God need our gratitude? No. No. God does not need gratitude. Just like a truly evolved, loving parent doesn't need gratitude from a child to, that they're taking care of. God is way too big, way too universal, way too done to need anything, much less our gratitude. Gratitude is a gift for ourselves, to ourselves. Gratitude is the way we appreciate spirit. But spirit doesn't need our gratitude. We need our gratitude. We want to be in the flow of gratitude. Meister Eckhart, who I quoted before, said, I never give thanks to God for loving me because he can't help himself. He probably didn't say it like that. He can't help himself. It's his nature. It's its nature. Meister Eckhart used the word his, but I'll say it's its nature to love. It is loving. It is eternal and giving. It will give and give and give because it's its nature. Gratitude is for ourselves, and it is our gift. It is not something we need to do. It is not something required of us from a God up there, a God out there, a God somewhere. But look at the power of gratitude as a causal force. Gratitude and giving thanks is a state of consciousness, I gotta get this right, that keeps us in an awareness of oneness with the divine flow. And for me, I realized after that one idea of causal, the causal idea, that it's causing something to happen, that the effect is more things to be grateful for, which is so exciting. I also realized that idea that sometimes God feels so far off. That idea of God, so conceptual, like forget the man up in the sky. We've grown out of that idea. But even sometimes, just thank you, God. It's like, what really are we giving thanks to? But when we are grateful and appreciative to what is right in front of us, to the people, the relationships, the jobs, they're right there. That is God expressing, and we can sense and see and feel that when we say thank you for being here. Thank you for contributing. Thank you for loving me. Thank you for this food on the table, to the animals, to the people that have brought it here. We are connected. God, we can sense and see and feel God in our everyday lives. God doesn't become a concept of it. God becomes right with us, in us, as us, expressing to us through everything around us. And that is, again, there's been several incredible points for me this week in understanding gratitude, but having God be right there in the food, in the job, in the situation, in the relationship, that was really powerful. God is not far off. Gratitude brings God in everything, in the butterfly, in the sunset, in the caterpillar. So as we go into this week of Thanksgiving, let's remember how powerful and causal gratitude and Thanksgiving are. That is a causal force that we're inviting within us. It's a gift for ourselves, not for something out there. It's a gift to ourselves to experience the connectedness of all of our life together. And I really do. I invite you to grab a little notebook or a few sheets of folded paper and just keep them in your pocket and just start writing down this week. Just the things that you're grateful for. And next to it, write down that feeling. Was it awe? Was it inspiration? Was it just connectivity? You know, some other words that we use for gratitude, because that was really powerful too this week. The different words, the vibration of love that is unique to gratitude. Just test yourself and see if your life doesn't bring you more gifts by the end of this week, by next Sunday. I bet we're going to have some people coming in and say, yeah, there was a lot more to be grateful for. That's what I'm thinking. Find out for yourself the power of being grateful. And enjoy your turkey. And so it is.
So it is.